Hey, idiots, we're back. I'm here with my good friend, the hilarious Danny Jolles, applauding himself. We love it. Yay.
Well, I try to get myself in.
Get pumped up.
Get fired up. That's what the people say when I usually hit the stage.
There you go. Danny, he's fired up.
Danny's fired up. And I say, get ready, guys.
It's going to be crazy.
I've been more energetic on stage, actually. It's been something I've been working on.
Really? You've been actively working on it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's just I'm excited. What, do you do anything to like pump yourself up? Like, how do you get more energized? Because I probably need to pull back.
You need to
I need to get less energized.
It's more about like, I think sometimes you can get very set in a spot. So part of it is like, I want to move more.
Yeah.
And I want to, I think it was so uncool when I started in New York to sell a joke.
I just need to second that. I know what I know what you mean when you say that, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Being too cool for, anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No. People, look at him moving around. But I totally bought into that out of the gates. I was like, yeah, I got to stop moving around. I should really, and I had the actor stench on me. So I was like, I don't want people to think I'm an actor. Like, I'm a comic.
You are.
I'm a comic, and I'm nothing but. And then
Why do we do this? But
and then slowly over time, I've really been like, oh yeah, I can sell a joke, and that doesn't hurt anybody.
No, it doesn't mean the joke is not just as good. I think there is something to, I remember, somebody told me that they heard Chris Rock say this, but when he's working on material, he'll go up
I've watched him.
Yeah, I've watched it too at the store. I've watched Chris Rock bum in the OR, and that brings me so much comfort.
It's awesome to watch. It's awesome, like, him.
Professional.
It's awesome when, like, and we won't name names of the other side, but him and Burr and the people who you watch go up and you're like, they're working.
Yeah, and you see them sometimes eat shit.
Because you're like,
working.
they're crafting. They're working. They're figuring it out.
Yeah, if you're never bombing, you're not working.
And there's so many people who you see like that. And you're like, they just go up, they just kind of go through their motions. They've done enough. And then you're like, there's these people who you're like, it's so inspiring watching them because you're like, they're still crafting.
Yeah, they're still like, I want to be good.
Yeah.
I want to tweak it. I want to
Chris Rock at any moment can turn on The Voice, go to a joke that's a couple weeks old.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to break the room apart.
Of course.
And instead, he's choosing to struggle.
Yeah. To just be, and that's fucking hard because I try in the OR to, like right now I'm working on new stuff and I'm going to try anywhere, around town, but that room is the fucking mind fuck. But you had to really slow down and just figure out the joke without. It's also weird to be, because when I'm animated, when I'm physical, that's not me being like, better turn on the physicality. That's just how I am. I'm fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, no, I said yeah at the wrong part, but I take back the yeah. But what I do think is yeah, I think I'm similarly where like, I think I am a fairly animated person.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll watch myself on stage and I'll be like, you're not animated.
Yeah.
You're not showing that. Why not? It's actually like the more, to me, I'm always like, stand up is finding who you really are at its core. That's always the battle. And I'm like, there's a part of me that isn't being genuine because I'm restricting myself. And so I've been really trying to pop it open.
I love that. Me too. Because I started thinking about how I'm like, we all go through, we're flowing and ebbing, and I said that backwards, but it's like you sort of grow in the art. And I think as the more you're doing it, ideally, the closer you get to who you are being kind of married with what you're doing on stage. But yeah, I definitely went through a period where it was like serious, the jokes, you didn't even know. And I mean, I've always been physical, but there was a part of me that got, some of my topics got too heavy, and it's like, I'm silly. Like, I can't be like, mental health when at the end of the day, I'm just farting is crazy.
No, I mean, every time I talk to like anybody who's like just starting, one of my 700 tips is like, you don't need to conquer the toughest subjects day one.
No.
You're allowed to just do what you look like, and that's good.
Yeah.
And figure that out.
That's totally fine.
It takes a hot second before so many young comics are like, here's the thing about politics. It's like,
I
don't even like doing that.
Yeah. Also, most of the crowd
hard.
doesn't like you doing it.
Yeah, that's hard.
And my dog hates it too. They can't hear her barking, but she is furious.
I get it. I get it. How old is your dog?
She is turning 8 on Friday.
Wow.
Ish. I don't know. You can make up a birthday because she's a rescue. But dogs have no idea. They're just the best.
They're the best.
They really, I don't know where I would be without my dog, which is crazy because I didn't always have her. And now it feels like, how was I?
Harper has like been huge for me. The new dog, her and I have more of a contentious relationship, but we've made our way. We've entered a place where we're fine.
Well, okay, wait, why? What?
She's a little difficult. She's a little high energy. Her and I sometimes we're on the exact same page as far as energy goes, and sometimes, she likes to piss me off, and I go, I really am angry, and then her and I go at it.
You go at it.
We've had a couple real yelling matches.
Where you go, enough,
and she's like,
she's just endless energy, and you're like, I'm trying to focus.
Her favorite thing is to run at you full speed and just like punch, like just like
she's
kind
pretty
of
big.
She's big. No, she gets you good.
Dang.
You gotta be ready. Yeah, no, she is. Her and I have had some really great moments, but we've also had some moments.
This is your enemy.
Where we have really been on opposite sides of the living room, like, I'm gonna kill you.
Your dog is just your nemesis.
And my dog looks at me, seemingly never having a sense that I'm as angry as I am. Yeah, she's always kind of like, what's the deal?
He loves me.
Figure it out.
Everybody loves me here.
I'm like, everybody's a little frustrated with you.
And you're like, you're driving me crazy. Okay, let me ask you this for my own selfish, personal reasons. How did your wife convince you to get a second dog? Because I'm trying to figure it out.
Sure. So this will be covered in my next special. But the way she did it was she just kind of fucking did it.
She just came home and there was a dog?
She pushed for months. And I kept saying, really don't feel comfortable. Then I had to sit down with her because she was like, because I kept being like, I mean, I really don't want one. Like, I'm not really, like, kept doing like that. Finally, she was like, that wasn't clear enough. She was like, honestly, Danny, like, I need a hard yes or hard no. And I like thought about it for a week and I was like, it's a hard no.
And she's like, I've ordered a dog like it's Uber Eats.
And then we went to, and then I partially blame our couples therapist, who I've had a conversation about this. Because our couples therapist was like, one of you is going to win and one of you is going to lose this argument. And I was like,
Feels like it doesn't need to be an argument.
Feels like this needs to be a joint decision. And if I'm a no, the conversation's over. And it's a bummer for her. But you cannot make this a 50-50. It goes one way or the other. And I just got beaten down. And so all of a sudden one day, she came home with this dog. And then we had the by far worst fight we've ever had.
The worst fight you ever had.
Oh, I mean,
over the dog.
This thing, it's in the next special. But we
like a record breaker.
Oh, I mean, because
you firmly were like, no,
and then it showed up and it was really difficult because it's a fucking pappy, so it was really hard. And I was like, I don't like this.
Did you feel like there was a second where you're like, this is the end?
We hit some dark moments, yes.
Oh my God.
I thought she thought potentially, she was like, I think I might have screwed up our entire marriage with this dog.
I might have really wrecked it.
And
then there's the dog.
And his dog's like, what's the deal?
I ate your shoes.
What? And I'm like, this dog is ripping our family apart. It was tough. And
Sort of
Harper
literally.
hated her. Like,
oh no, Harper.
I know. So the other dog was like, I hate this.
It's hard when your dogs don't get along.
It's so hard. And now they get along much, much better. It's great. We've gotten there. Jess and I are through it. But yeah, I would say really make sure he's on board before the second dog.
Yeah, it probably will never happen. And I keep just bringing it up. Just going, maybe today we've turned a new leaf. And I'm not going to do it if he's not on board.
I'd encourage you not to do that.
I would never.
Some will.
I know. And I honestly...
I'll tell you one young lady who very openly will.
And let me tell you, I envy that so much. I wish I would just go, well, I hear what you're saying, and I'm ignoring it.
Yeah. No, she would be like, it was crazy. Yeah, it was the same cycle of like, I would be like, it's really a no. And she'd be like, I hear you. And then a week later, she'd be like, but do you feel like we should get a second dog?
But have you seen dogs?
And she'd be like, can I just show you pictures of this one? And I'd be like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, I send videos. I'm going, okay, hear me out. What if we just get 2 more dogs instead of 1?
Yeah.
And then they take care of each other.
Yeah, that take care of each other thing is
a myth.
Is a myth and a half.
I mean, yeah, Nate.
It's the same thing with 2 kids. It's like everyone's like, you get a second kid, and then they take care of each other. It's like
no, they terrorize each other.
No, they terrorize each other, and also now you have a second one.
Yeah, and they are expensive, dude. Kids, woof, scary.
In this economy?
I mean, you gonna have kids? What are you thinking? You guys?
Well, we've got our locked in. We'll have one at some point.
Yeah.
So
all right.
It's got coming.
1, and she's like, "Here's what I'm thinking."
Well, that's
3
one.
kids.
Oh, I actually think one of the beauties of the dog situation was I think Jess really learned. I think we both learned like that kind of overstepping will destroy this relationship.
So now a lesson learned.
So I think she is like 100% like, we are having 1 kid and that will be all.
Kid.
There's no world.
Well, it's also, I mean,
I think she knows that if she was like, I really want a second kid, I would be like, you just have to choose. You'd have to choose.
You have to have a second kid or the rest of this family.
or like, well, I would just be like, I think I would be like, just go with someone else then. Like, it just seems like I'm not your partner. If you really
you're that deep in,
if
there's a kid.
Big, I'm like,
there's 5 dogs. You're like, it feels like
I'm just not the guy for this. If this is just what you're building towards.
And this is all in your new special that you haven't filmed yet. You haven't filmed this one.
No, so this one is I filmed it over the course of a year.
Oh, okay.
So it covers a year of my life.
So it's like in segments.
It's segments, and it goes through the year. So the dog arrives during the year.
Oh, so okay.
So
how much are you able to talk about the... Danny loves a theme. If you have not seen his other specials...
Love a gimmick.
I also love a theme, and Nate keeps trying to be like, you got to let go of the theme a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you don't need a toga-themed special.
Yeah.
I'll go too far.
Yeah. Well, so will I. So, yeah. This one, it covers a year. So it starts on my birthday, ends on my birthday.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about where this idea came from? Like, did you decide?
You know, I think it was a double whammy of like, I felt that I was at the beginning of it, and I obviously will not say what happens throughout it, but I will say that at the beginning of it, I was very down, and I was like,
a comedian down?
And I was like, I think this is a year things are really going to, I was like, I want this year to be a successful year, and I think it'd be really cool to capture someone really like going in, being like, how do I find that success? I'm going to find myself. I'm going to find this success. I'm going to find stuff. And so that was kind of the idea. And the other idea was like the passing of time.
Yeah.
And like how time affects us. And also this idea of kind of things happening in your life and then going on stage and talking about them.
Yeah.
And kind of showing an audience like this thing happens. This is now on stage.
This is now on stage. Like showing that kind of like immediate process.
You see A to B of like, Jess does something, I'm talking about it.
Is there like documentary elements of it?
Yeah,
like, do you actually see it?
Yeah. Yeah. So you see like moments, and then you see me go on. You see the dog. You see this dog, the cutest dog. To her credit, Daphne is so cute.
The
and
cutest.
You just see
I mean, you can. When I see your dog, I really can just imagine her going, you can't say no to this one.
And then me going, So yeah, no. So but yeah, you see like. Yeah, I was just filming there was no film crew. It was just me filming my life for a year.
Oh my God.
And so
wait, what were you filming it on? Like
my iPhone.
Your iPhone?
Yeah.
Wow. Filmed on iPhone. That's
yeah
really interesting.
Please sponsor me, Apple.
I mean, somebody, for
Apple.
God's sake. Okay, wait. We're going to take a very quick break, and I want to keep talking about this. We'll be right back. Okay. So you're like, I think this is going to be it. Man, I don't want... Okay. I'm like, I don't want to dig in too much because I know it's in the special.
We can go off mic and say after the podcast. I can tell you.
You'll tell me everything.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. But yeah, it was all. That was the idea going into it. Was like I want to capture.
And when you were going into, you're like, were you like, I think this is the year, Or were you like, I need something to hold on to?
A little bit of both. I'd say a little bit of both.
That's comedy.
I'd say a little bit of both. I'd say like I was definitely like I can't. I was like everything. It felt like everything. It was strike is happening. Everything. So I was like, there's nothing happening. Everything is dead. Feels like my career is dead. So it's
the worst feeling.
But then still being like, I think I'm really good at stand up. So
he's pretty good.
So he's really good. So that should work out. I just really thought like we're gonna capture this thing, and also it was just like I'll have a thing to work on. Like
I need something to focus on.
It literally like the strike is starting when it is like we're like well into the strike.
Yeah. When
it starts, and I'm like, I need a thing.
If there's one thing I know about you, you need something to focus on.
Yes. So this was my.
If you're working on something, it's like, I'm the same way. Where it's like, God forbid, I hit a point where everything I've ever wanted to write and all the things I'm working on were done. I mean, when I don't have a road date booked out. Like in the next, like if I took time off specifically, I can't say words, to edit my special, and I am absolutely draining Nate with me being like, I'm losing it.
Isn't it crazy how when people are like, it must be so hard on Jess when you're touring, and I'm like, what if I told you?
It's so much.
It's really the only thing that keeps us together is that she gets a break.
No, it really is. Yeah. Like And I don't want to say this like it's not in a sad way. It's like I'm a lot. Being with a comedian is a lot.
Totally. I think it's every couple. I think every couple should take a couple-day break at least a couple times a month.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's like even if you don't mean to, you can become unhealthily intertwined, or like you're spending too much time together, and then there can be this unspoken like, you need time, but I don't want to upset you by you thinking if I say I need like just get away from me. It's not you. Totally. But it is you, but it's not you specifically. It's anyone spending that much time together would go crazy.
You go crazy. And so I love, I think like the weekend road sometimes where I'm just like, because I come back excited to see her.
Yes.
I'm like, I've missed you.
That's
refreshing. A really great feeling. And I see couples who are like, we haven't spent a night apart in 70 years. And I'm like, you must hate that.
Yeah, don't you ever just roll over and go, oh, it's you again.
Again.
Oh, good. You're singing your songs in the morning.
Oh, look, you didn't clean up the table once again.
Oh,
another day, another table not cleaned.
The scrambling I do when I know Nate's headed home. I'm like, uh-oh, I've spread out my mess everywhere.
Yeah, Jess does the thing where she's like, I'm going to organize.
And
then I come into the bedroom and there's just shit everywhere. And
she's looking at old photos and she's like, dude, this was in high school.
Yes. I've come in so many times. She's like, this is, and I'm like, this doesn't seem clean. She's like, no, this is going to be so much cleaner when I'm done.
But right now I need to take a nap.
And then it's about a week later. And I'm hard. Like, seems like we're making a mess.
It's like, no, I'm creating a system.
It's going to create a system. You don't understand organizing, Danny.
I get her. And I know that I don't understand organizing. There's times where I want to just be like, well, Nate, you just tell me where to put my stuff and I'll put it there. I just can't figure it out.
Just did something the other day that I thought was like truly, and it was like, it was a real like, I like put my foot down. When we got our place, we have 2 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms was going to become my office, my little safe space, because I need my own space.
I know that feeling. Here we are.
And so I said, girl, you get the big closet. You get the bedroom. You get desks anywhere you want. You get the living room. I'm just going to have my little space. That space is slowly eroded down to to kind of my desk.
You have a corner.
And there's a closet in there where I keep all my merch, all my shit, everything you need to be a comic. And that has slowly come over to like half of it. And the other day, Jess was like, I'm frustrated by the office. I think it needs to be cleaned. And I was like, sure. What do you need to clean? And she went to my side of the closet and she was like, it's so disorganized. And I was like, this is the only section of the house that's mine. Just let me have this space. I was like, it's a closet. It closes. I was like, nobody sees this. I was like, just let me have my one space. And And I was like, you can there, everywhere you want to, Chris.
Let me have my crazy pile of belongings.
Let me have my crazy pile of belongings that nobody can see.
Nobody see. No.
That nobody sees.
She's like, I see it.
And she was like,
feel it.
And I just was like,
my
literally
bones.
look everywhere else but this. I had to fight so hard to be like, I'm not going to clean it. I will not clean this.
I'm putting my foot down.
I'm putting my foot down. I will not clean this because this hurts nobody.
Like, this is all I mean, poor Nate is the same. That he gave me, I mean, the bigger closet. He uses the closet in here. There's 2 bathrooms. One has double sinks and a giant tub. And I still insist on using the shower in his bathroom. And he's going to go, if he watched this, he'd go, you called it my bathroom. It is my bathroom. But he's like, just, don't you have enough?
Yes.
No.
Then that's what Jess will say.
Yeah, what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. Like, that's, it's
tough.
It's tough.
It's tough living with someone.
Yeah, no, I think that
It's
not enough goes into, I feel like enough people don't plan for the fact that you have to plan for it. You'd be like, I like this person. We get along. Living with someone is next level. And
yes.
I am difficult to live with. And I know that. I'm difficult to put up with.
I think that's a little harsh, but I'm no picnic. And yeah.
I don't think anyone is.
But I think everyone is. It's like, but
we all have our quirks.
But then I would argue Jess is just in her own ways. She's wonderful to live with. And at times, a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's most people because everyone has, I mean, the way you are when you're home away from the rest of the world, you see almost nobody that vulnerably.
Completely.
Like, we all are putting on not a fake version of ourselves when we leave the house, but it's an edited version.
Completely. And then you do this for a living. So you go, every time I leave the house, I'm usually doing stand-up.
Yes.
Usually a person. If I'm at the airport, I'm like, somebody here might know who I am. I can't be flipping out. I got to keep my composure. I am
freak out.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I get very frustrated sometimes. And I go, can't be freaking out. We got to keep our composure. I think it's a very real part of, like, yes, when you see somebody at home alone for really for a while, it's like, yeah, you see them. Jess has seen me, like, get so stressed. She's seen me get so happy. She's seen me get so angry. Like, we both have seen, like, the full range.
You see the full
emotions of a person.
A thing that you go, oh, or where it's like.
But I would never do that. Well, I would never go out in public and show any of those emotions like that because that would be insane.
Well, yeah, and it's like also in public, it's like this would be like, I've exhibited behaviors. Nate's had moments where it's like, this would concern people. Mm-hmm. People would be like, what is this adult doing? But I think, I don't know, there's not enough conversation or just grace given to the fact that, like, yeah, you do have to let those emotions out.
Yes.
And home is where you do it.
Home is where you do it.
And if you live with someone, sometimes they see those emotions.
And it's like,
they have to be able to handle.
You have to.
Seeing that.
And I
being
think
near that, experiencing that.
It's the cutest part of being in a relationship in some ways is you're like, we're so vulnerable with each other that, like, I do feel safe with Jess.
Yeah.
I think she feels safe with me. Like, she has seen, and the documentary captures moments of some real emotions between.
Was that hard for you? Or were you like, I want to cut this out?
Oh, I mean,
I would.
Watching that back.
That's giving me anxiety thinking about
watching back me saying things, that far. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch a special for me.
Yeah, it's hard to watch you do the jokes you've crafted, but to watch.
It's very hard to edit. To be like.
Are you editing yourself?
No. But I've had to step.
You have to sit down.
And we're crafting a story.
Yeah.
So
you need the, like, high points.
Because we know the beginning, we know where it ended.
Yeah.
But then we know, there's a couple tentpole moments.
Yeah.
That were like these are moments that happened that were captured, and I know the joke worked really well. So
we've got to capture the moment.
But then the rest of it's like, okay, how do we show that progression or that thing? And that takes a lot of time. Gordy and Brad are who do all my specials are doing it. And they're working their little hearts out on it.
Oh, and they know a story.
They do. I mean, Gordy's amazing. He's such an amazing editor. But it's hard. And yeah, but we capture a couple like very high emotion moments.
Wow. That's I want to see it, but also
I'm worried that it's going
so
to be
much
too much.
anxiety.
I'm worried it's going to be too much to watch. Is my biggest concern watching it. Is I'm like,
I don't think it will be for. I think other people
too emotionally draining to watch.
I think big emotion. People love that shit.
Well, then you're gonna get it.
I mean, if you can get the kind of women who like, and this may not be who you're targeting, but if you can get the women who are obsessed with
if you'll
housewives,
watch my shit, I'm targeting you.
Yeah, no, me
I don't
too.
give a like the thing
I
of
have
like
no
people being
clue.
like,
I don't have a targeted audience.
Isn't that crazy when people say that to you? People are like, I'm sorry, if you're Republican, don't watch my stuff. And I'm like,
I will take your money.
Republican, Democrat, you come on in and you get in on this
A
shit.
large portion of the people who follow me on Facebook work at Walmart. I love all audiences. I mean, I even have friends that go like, I don't care if men like my jokes at all.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, well, I guess that works as long as a whole bunch of women like them.
Yeah, you better fucking.
But that's half the population. That's I care. It bugs me to no end that when I look at my analytics, more men than women follow me. I sometimes go, what am I doing that women hate? And then cut to me humping a stool. And I'm like, I guess some women.
But you're being physical on stage and that's good.
Physical.
Some of us are working on it.
Let's get physical. Do you have the hang up of when it comes to doing that? Is some of it worrying too much about what your peers think? Or has it been?
I think it's a big fact. Well, particularly where it started, right? Because the whole me being small on stage, I think, started from entirely based around New York stand-up scene. I don't want them to see me as
dorky
I want them. Yeah, so like
trying to.
So started 100% there.
Yeah.
Right. Like now, I think it's. Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm definitely somebody who's like, if I'm working on all new stuff, and then somebody walks in the room who I really care about,
it hurts me.
We'll change material.
Oh, really? Like a big comic you look up to, or just anyone who's
big comic I look up to, someone I care about, someone industry, like somebody who I'm just like, or like, I will say if you put me up before or after an influencer,
you're like, I'm doing my best material.
I'm going to bury you through the ground.
Yeah.
I have a firm policy of
if you were here because of the followers you have.
If somebody doesn't belong on this stage, you can have a bazillion followers and be a great comic. If you don't know what you're doing on stage, I will do everything I can to make you miserable.
Yeah, and make it clear to the audience.
Yeah. So,
based on my ability to do stand-up, that you do not know how to do stand-up.
I will do everything I can.
I kind of love that.
And so that definitely affects me. I will walk into a room and go, if I see a lineup like that, I will bury you.
Yeah, I go back. I mean, my struggle in LA is there's always someone in the room, or there's always maybe someone in the room.
Totally.
Where, I mean, I did a set once. I had been going back and forth with an agent trying to set up him coming to, you might already know this. This was years ago. Trying to get him to come to see me at a show. A friend was like, you got to see her. I had flown back from Korea, and because I am a fucking idiot, had a show scheduled when I landed. Idiot, workaholic, sick in the head, who knows. Went and did it. It was at the Garage in Culver City.
Sure.
Small crowd, bad audience, 13-hour flight, crazy person. Literally had my suitcase with me. So unwell. Bombed. Worked on new shit, didn't go well. It was productive in the way that any way it could be productive. I was like, well, I wanted to work on new stuff because it was a small crowd. I was like, I'm not going to fucking...
Right.
Apparently this guy was in the corner. Didn't even see him. I messaged him then. I emailed him to be like, hey, I'm back in town. Here are some shows I have coming up. It's like oh my God, I had a spot at the Improv. I have all these like things that look cool. And he's like, I actually saw you at that show last night. Keep getting up.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
I did a show the other day where somebody was in the crowd. It was such a small room. And I was like, afterwards I was like, thank God I know this guy. So like wasn't,
so
but
he'd
seen me before, but I was like, you were here?
Yeah, today.
Jesus. But I also have the weekly show, Peacock, which is I think like
It's a fun show.
It's moving up as I think one of the
It's one of my favorite shows.
One of the best indie shows in town. So reps love going there versus the clubs. Yeah. So we have a lot of industry sometimes show up.
Wow, that is haunting me right now.
Well, that's my safe space.
Yeah.
That's my workaround room.
You're
I'm literally working on shit there.
I'm just thinking of the sets I've had there where the couple times I've been there, I go completely insane.
It's a room that I always encourage people to be like, try to do well in that room because there is usually one or two people.
Yeah. I mean, I've always had fun there. We're going to take a quick break and keep talking about this. We'll be right back. Yeah. I didn't even realize that about your room, but it makes sense because it is. Okay. Am I crazy? I didn't mean for this to get like all stand-up heavy, but fuck it. We're stand-ups. It feels like there are significantly less good indie shows.
None. There's no good indie shows. And by the way, New York's having the exact same problem.
What's going on?
I think the problem is... I don't know.
Say it. Say it, you coward. Feels like you were going to say something.
Okay. So the Jews. I think that
Love them.
I think the issue is young comics are putting their effort more towards social media than...
Building, like live.
Thing being like, when I started, it was like, the thing you did, the thing that you could do to really elevate yourself was start a show.
Yeah.
So that was the thing you did. Now, correctly, I would argue, it could easily be argued, those comics are like, yeah, rather than do that, I'm going to work on building my social media. I don't think they're wrong.
I don't think they're wrong, but there is like, I mean, we don't need a video of you at an open mic. It's bad. If there's 3 people there.
I don't go to an open mic often, but every time I've gone, there's at least 2 people filming their set, if not more.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's
I think,
and I go,
if it's just for you, fine.
I go, this is counter everything this is counter everything this room is for you.
Yeah. This is not for anyone to see.
You are sabotaging the entire point of an open mic by filming yourself.
It's wild because it's already hard enough like that because of the nature of stand-up, you have to create in front of people at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can write all day, but on paper and on stage are not the same. And there are things that could work on paper that won't work on stage. Like you have to get up and do it.
Yes.
And we would never have seen the rough draft of, I don't know, any acclaimed author's work. You're not seeing the outline, but we're going up and giving people an outline.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's like always been my thing. When people like, even a comic who is on stage and they're saying something terrible, right? People are like, can you believe this comic said? I'm always like, if the context was an open mic or even like someone big working at a show, I'm like, you don't know what that joke is going to become.
Going to turn into.
That's the beauty. I mean, that's the beauty of stand-up comedy. The beauty of the open mic is it is truly a safe space. Like it is actually a safe space.
It's supposed to be.
It is a space where people will go on stage. I have heard some things said on those stages so offensive.
I've said things so offensive on those stages.
Yeah. That's the beauty. I mean, to me, I'm always like, it's truly what a safe space is, which is it's a place you go where people are going to say things on stage you disagree with to a point where it's criminal. You're like, I think that person is a criminal.
Yeah, they're a bad person.
That's a criminal on stage. Yeah. And you let them say it. You let them do their 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, maybe they are. Maybe they're a huge piece of shit.
I absolutely think I've been in rooms with criminals 1,000 times.
Oh, for sure. Maybe they are seeing how far they can go with something and it still work. And I've had moments where I literally go, okay, I found the line. It's way back there. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to see if anything would come if I pushed it. Because sometimes, for me, I don't know how often you're finding things in the moment on stage versus writing it all. But sometimes I've had moments where if I let myself really kind of go and get loose, something pops and I'm like, that can go in there.
Completely.
And it came after I went through the fucking shit that you're like, you can't say that.
Yes.
And then I go, but I could say that. And I wouldn't have thought of it without that. So
many jokes that like I have where I'm like the original version of this one. Oh. you can't even imagine what I was trying to say out of the gates.
Oh, yeah, where it's like...
And not that it was horrific, but I was trying to get a point across. The way I thought was, or it's like something where I'm like, I have an observation about this person, and I'm just saying that observation.
Yeah.
And people were like, that's a terrible observation. And then me being like, okay, what if I soften it a little bit? Take it down a notch. But, because I'm just trying to get to this point. And then, like, it gets there, and I'm like, the OG version, you guys would have hated.
Yeah, I didn't need it to be... I didn't need that to make the point. But at first, it's like you're figuring it out. You're trying new things. You're throwing shit at the wall. And I don't know. Sometimes in my head, I'm like, are you ever really in a fully safe space for that in Los Angeles? I mean, in terms of someone not seeing you and going, they don't know what they're doing up there.
Well, that's my biggest fear when it comes to Peacock and these shows where I'm like, my safe space show is a space where I'm like,
people come to see people.
There's industry, yeah. And I go, all right, this is where and so even there, I try not to bomb too hard. Like, I'm always trying to, like, be like, all right, let's work in some stuff. But then there's a lot of repeat crowd. So if I'm really, like right now, I'm working on about a 15-minute chunk that I've been hammering over and over again for the past couple, probably month.
Yeah.
I've been really hammering it. The Peacock audience is tired of it.
They are sick of you.
They appreciate the couple new punchlines per week, but they're
not all like comedy connoisseurs. We're like, I like the direction. Well, I can. I know.
I mean, you can literally see them like, yes, particularly like I always do a poll out of the gates, being like, who comes regularly, who's new, and every now and then it's like heavy regularly, and it's like, fuck.
Like, okay, I guess I'll do something new.
I can literally feel them being like, when I start, I'm like, so I've been getting into God, and just them being like.
You're getting into God?
That's what I'm talking about on stage right now. And I just feel like they're going to be like, he's doing it.
He's doing the God. He's not letting go of this God thing.
Oh, God, we've heard this.
We get it. God.
He's been working on it. Wait till this punchline comes.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Fuck. Yeah, it's...
But it's hard. It's hard. And then, I mean, when I'm at the clubs, I'm not famous enough where I'm like, I can just go there and fuck around. I'm always like, I got to at least bring some A shit heavy around it. It's hard to find. The road is honestly the place that I find.
That's what I love about the road is that I can just open up with something that is great and then freewheel it on some new ideas sometimes and really build.
As long as they're staying with me.
Yeah, because you also have time to get them back. If you're headlining, it's like, okay. You have a 7-minute set in Los Angeles. You run it into the ground. And you have a minute left, and you're like, anyway, cats are crazy. Like it's hell. It's hell on earth. Do you? Okay, wait. Fuck. What was I gonna ask you? This is good stuff.
This is what podcasting is all about.
This is what podcasting is all about.
The moments.
The thought is gone.
The moments of great conversation. The moments of silence.
Is your new hour, so it's heavy about your personal life?
Yes.
Is that different for you?
Yes. I think a part of it was I'm an observational comic and I wanted to observe myself.
Yeah.
That was one of the thesis lines of this special.
Because I don't think of you as someone who's really getting personal.
No, I'm observational. But I get very personal in this one.
You do?
Very personal.
Uh-oh. That's it. He's getting personal.
Good.
It's a slippery slope.
I'll talk about some stuff. Talk about this guy.
Was that difficult for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think very, yes. And I think that what's interesting is the stand-up always shifts to observational with me. Like, no matter
You're
how
like, I gotta avoid. I can't get too deep with the strangers.
Well, no matter how personal a thing it was, it always shifted to, like,
society or
yes, like the opening segment is me being like, I just turned 36, and I'm at this age. So quickly that joke goes into, why are we counting ages? What's with that? I move off myself. So that's where the doc stuff really helps this special is you see the personal nugget that led to it. But when I write stand-up, I just always want to go into something bigger.
You veer into
and it's really hard for me to stay on just me.
Yeah. I mean, It's a challenge because it's so personal, and there is that, like, some of the funniest things that really do end up actually being observational comedy, in my opinion, as like a viewer of comedy, is someone admitting an embarrassing personal thing.
Yes.
And then we all do that.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who is maybe criminally personal with a lot of my stand-up, and it's like, maybe we go back to what's going on in the world a little bit. Maybe we get out of your fucking psycho brain. There have been times that, and I wonder if you had this with your, with this special. You ever try to do a bit where you're like, obviously this is a thing we all do, and nobody's talking about it, and immediately realize, my God, nobody else does this.
Yes. So many times. That's the beauty of an open mic, baby. That's where open mics are, where you're like, we've all
lactated despite not having children. No?
Nope.
Well, at least I got to get a different angle for this.
Got to go to a doctor. Okay, I'll go to a doctor.
Yeah.
I thought this was a funny observation. Turns out it's a doctor visit. Yeah. And that's a tricky line. You don't know.
That's good. Does anyone know a doctor that is cheap?
It's so hard when you're writing down something in your notebook and you're like, this is either a punchline or
a huge life concern.
Medical issue.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still trying to use it as both. But
I think we all have. Yes, this was definitely one where there's parts of this that I think there's segments of this that are stronger than others, because parts of it I always go into observational.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple of things I'm talking about on stage that I'm like, that's a weird thing to have to talk about.
Yeah. Do you think always veering into the observational, do you think that is neuro pathways, your style of writing, and that's just the lane that you've carved out so much that your brain automatically goes there? Or do you think a little of it is an avoidance of sharing and getting too personal?
I definitely would have said before both. I will say, having done this special, I'm like, I went in as earnestly as I could talking about myself, and I just think it's the way I write jokes, where I go, it's me admitting a feeling, but then being like,
what does it mean?
But what does that feeling mean? And it just ends up going bigger. But I like that. And it's never losing that nugget. Like, no. Like, the thing you see is like, that thing that happened was real.
Yeah.
That is, I'm admitting something on stage that is so true in this special.
Painfully true.
You're like, what he's talking about? That was true.
Yeah.
He's not lying when he says at the beginning of that joke.
Yeah.
That's real.
And it just leads to.
But then it just always goes to me being like, but why do I feel that way? Why does society make me feel that way? What is that? And then I go bigger. But I don't think it's avoidance, because I definitely went into this being like, enough avoidance. And then it's like, when I watch the jokes back, I'm like, so many of them, I'm like, wow, still kind of went out.
I think that probably just speaks really to the fact that, there's so many of us are afflicted by the same things and either don't talk about it or don't realize it, or maybe we're really not that different.
Has anyone talked about that?
Has anyone talked about how actually we're pretty similar when you get down to it? We're all breathing. We're all screaming. We're all mad sometimes. No? I don't scream much. I think it's why I have an autoimmune disease. I'm just screaming on the inside.
I don't yell that often. Sports is the only one.
Sports
will get me yelling. That's it.
Do you think sports, on that note, do you think men having something like sports helps them be less aggressive in other parts of their life? As a fan, not even as a player.
7,000,000%. Okay. I think, yes. I think that it is where many men let their emotions go.
It's like a safe space for men to feel emotions.
Yes, you can't. I'm going to quote a bit of mine. I was as a kid, my dad was like, "Don't yell." As a guy, bad look to yell.
Yelling is bad.
Yell. Don't yell at him. Don't yell at her. Don't yell at cars. Don't yell at planes. All that, if they see you yell, it's not good. But you can go to a stadium and you can yell at those millionaires and people will high five you. And that very much became like truly how a lot of times when I'm yelling at sports, it's like, that is my palm.
That's you letting it out.
Yes, I think sports is a massive part, and wrestling and all these things that I watch that I'm like, these are all allowing me to express something that movies don't. Movies will never be able to do that.
Maybe sad movies can pull the sad.
Yeah, sad movies can pull sad.
Because I guess we are conditioned to still like. It is weird that sad and angry, they're both seen as negative emotions. I mean, they obviously don't feel great. Nobody wants to be sad or angry, but like that if you're seen doing that at too high of a level in a public setting, it's like, yikes. But if you were happy all the time, no one would question it, and that's crazy to me.
It's very crazy. And it's I think it's very like genuinely good advice.
Yeah.
Is like, don't yell at him, don't yell at him. It's like true. It's like,
but find somewhere to yell.
The second you see a guy in public in any way yelling, and I think really for men, I think women have 1,000 things that are shittier, but I do think you're allowed to express emotions a little bit more freely.
Oh, I will not argue on that.
But
people just go, she's,
yeah,
she's carrying so much, and
she
is,
so much.
And
but
we're allowed to be sad and mad.
If you see a guy yell, it's like, okay, he's a criminal.
Yeah.
He obviously hits everybody in his life.
I think if I see anyone yell at a certain level, you're like,
yes.
Good God.
Totally.
So you immediately let go of like even caring what could have possibly happened in their life.
Totally. You're like, no, you can't be. Yeah. A public meltdown is so, but that's the thing about sports. Sports, you really can like have those meltdowns.
You're just screaming at a running back, but you're like, this isn't about the running back.
Oh, completely not.
This is
everything.
Childhood.
And also, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You're yelling about something that like, I care a lot. The Commanders, I'll die for them. I cried more this season than I've cried probably my entire life.
You cried.
Jessica?
You actually cried?
100 times. I'll cry talking about the season, how special this season was. I cried 100 times. I'll cry 100 more. It was the most special season of my life. And that's not fully about them.
Yikes. Yeah, no, I mean, good for you, crying. Let me ask you this before we get out of here.
Yes.
Do you feel like doing that special? I guess this is a two-part question. Was the intention to grow at all as a human as you did it? And either way, do you feel like it helped you grow like more than you maybe anticipated?
Intention, absolutely.
Okay.
Intention was particularly working, you're working on it while you're doing it, that you're like, yeah, I do want to be a better version of myself. Like I do,
roll the tape.
Like I am watching myself not have the best moments. Like I would love to be better. And then, so 100% going in. Did it? I think so.
You're going to go not at all.
That part's harder to say. And I think that really speaks to the end.
Yeah.
But like, I think that part's very complicated. Did I get better? I think, but it's hard. A year is to pick an arbitrary year and go, I'm going to watch this. It's very arbitrary. And most years do not have a beginning, middle, and end. And so there is no, and I will say I kept waiting for that. And you see me say it a couple times during the special, like
the big thing.
We're halfway in and don't really know what this is about yet. Like just kind of, we're here. We're at this point. And like I kept waiting for that magic bullet, and we found it. I found it, but it took a long time to find. Wow. And it was very real of like what the magic bullet was.
And you're like, special. This might not have a bullet.
Yes, completely.
Wow. The point might have to be
time, which I was okay with. I was like, if the point of this special is
that time marches on,
and
it's not always spectacular. Yes, life just keeps going
completely.
Then that also would have been something.
So that was always that's a really beautiful point.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some.
But we found there is some of that, but we found there is a magic bullet.
Okay, and what are we looking at release wise? How do we?
God knows.
No idea. I'm asking that as someone who's in the throes of editing a special and couldn't And it's a regular special. Couldn't tell you for the life of me.
This is one that I'm hoping I can do in a very unique release way and not in a YouTube way and something more. So hopefully, honestly, festivals is where the hope is, because I think it does say something more than the average special.
Okay.
But we'll see. I don't know. There's also a chance a company comes along. I own it, which is very exciting.
That's nice.
So I have full ownership. And
Yay.
so I get to decide what I want to do with it.
Which is not always the case for the layman listening.
It's never been the case.
Sometimes you're just like, oh, this is all of my life's work up to this point.
All of my life's work, and somebody offered not really to pay me, just to film it.
And it'll look nice.
And
hopefully it leads to something else that pays me.
Yeah. And you go, okay. And I did that my first 2 specials. I never really had ownership of. I always had partial ownership, but it was always. But this is the first one where I'm like, I own everything for this one.
Wow.
So we'll see what I do with it.
It's exciting. You're still editing.
Still editing.
And no end in sight on.
No, we have a cut.
Okay.
We've cut.
No, that's what I was like timeline wise.
But we don't.
Think you're gonna try to start shopping it like soon?
Yeah, I think.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Comes out when you're 63.
It could be. I mean, well,
a year in my life, and you're doing a press tour, and they're like, "What happened? He looks like shit."
I know. I'm like so conservative. Like, yeah, I know. I'm like,
no, it'll
be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there's always somewhere it can go.
I hope so. There's always YouTube.
Yeah,
that's where my first 2 went. But
you want to
given the absolute abject failure of the last one, it's hard for me to. Yeah. It's hard for me to want to go back to YouTube. Oh, man.
It's too late for us to go into that. It was a fail. You think it was a failure?
My last special, I think, is one of the... I'm so proud of it, and I think it's one of the coolest things ever.
Was it just hard to execute the output of it?
Yeah, I mean, it came out at the worst possible time. It was literally height of hecklers and crowd work, and then it's like, do you want the deepest and most complicated material? And then on top of that, I don't know. I kept waiting for people really to like notice it, and it just never happened. And the YouTube algorithm buried it.
Fuck. Because it's more than one video, isn't it?
It's all these videos, and it kept thinking people were clicking out. So the algorithm believes people are clicking out.
Oh,
it's a choose your own adventure, but they think they're leaving this thing. So it literally algorithm tanked itself.
Did you? This is a stupid question, and
I thought it was going to change my life. I thought that's when we finished the 89 special, I was like,
this is going to launch me.
I mean, you can't, in my mind, I was like, you can't.
It was a very interesting concept.
Better phrase. To a choose your own adventure special, you choose my opinions throughout the special. In my mind, I was like, you can't put your dick on the table harder as a stand-up comic than that special. Being like, this is who I am, this is what I do. And
did you worry anyone would be like, cared. This man has no opinions?
Kind of, but
he's a psychopath.
But that was the beauty of the ending.
Of how it ends.
That's the beauty of the ending.
Did you, when you were linking it, was it a playlist link? When you were like sending out a link?
No, we would go to the first video.
Because, here's the thing you can do that I learned. And I don't want to say it's too little too late, but you should relink it wherever you have it linked. I'll show you off air, but there's a way that you can have the first video, like it looks like you're just linking to the first video, but it actually automatically creates a playlist. So obviously they're clicking which video they want to go to, but at least it has them all in there. So if they did just keep watching, it would.
Yeah, and
I know it's hard because it's choose your own adventure.
It's a nightmare. It was. So yeah, so it's like I'm proud of it. I stand by the product.
Oh,
but as far as like looking in the mirror career wise, did this do what I wanted it to do? An unbelievable failure. And if we want to go further on the level of failure, the entire point of the special was to not believe people. The entire point of the special, the entire thing I built this around was
people could just say shit.
Was don't just trust what you see online. No one makes it. No one. So few people made it to the end. And as a special, it has millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views of reels of it where people just see one side of the opinion and go, yeah, that's so funny, or like, that's so dumb. And
great way to get engagement for socials.
And have no clue
that there's a point.
That there was an entire other opinion. That opinion wasn't even my real, or might be my real opinion, might not be. Completely taken in the way I didn't want it to be taken in.
You ever do reels of the opinions back to back? Like one reel?
We tried everything.
You tried it. Why am I pitching
tried
you things?
everything. I've tried everything. At the end of the day, the thing I thought the big comics would come along. That's what I thought was going to make it.
That they think it.
I thought like Seinfeld and those people would see this and be like, whoa,
cool.
Someone's trying. And no one cared.
Oh.
It's a sad tale.
I will say it's very inspiring that you're able to separate the fact that you stand behind it as a creative project. Because I think that's so important is that some things aren't going to be, everything we do isn't going to be the thing that the public goes crazy over.
Totally.
So it's like you have to love the thing you make.
You have to love the thing you make. But it is like, yes, it is. And it's taken me a while to like admit this. It took me like for a year. I was like, well, New York Times said it was special and, it's really cool. And then like, it's just been a while to be like, it's a failure. It's a failure.
I'm sorry for laughing.
It is a failure.
I just know that feeling of like, yeah, this is a flop.
Yeah.
And it's in my experience, and I know this isn't objective and a terrible way to end, but the things I care about the least seem to do the best. It's always the thing that I go, I poured my heart into this. And people are like, that was weird. Your poster upsets me.
I've acted in so many like amazing projects.
He really
I've done stand up on so many amazing things.
He's great.
I've written and created things that I like think are beautiful. I've never received more text messages and calls in my life than when I was in a commercial during the World Series. Like that's just, and I'm like, one day work, a thing. I mean, I went, that was the entire thing. And people were like, wow, now you're doing something. Oh. Now you're doing something.
My family will not see me as successful until I'm on a cruise ship. And that will haunt me.
Well, that's great.
It's not. Cruise ships won't even have me because I'm disgusting. But no, I could. I could do a cruise ship.
You can do a cruise ship. You don't want to do a cruise ship.
But my family doesn't understand. That's not
the end goal.
That's not the end goal in comedy. They think you could be on cruises.
Oh, yeah.
You've made, because they love cruises so much, they think, getting paid to get on a cruise?
Oh, yeah. And also, I will say, when you get further into comedy, because you start a comedy and you're like, cruise ship comics. The more you're in comedy, the more you talk to these cruise ship comics, they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled. I make a good living.
They make a great living.
And
they still get to do jokes.
I don't have to worry about selling tickets. Where you start talking to them.
The relief of ticket sales.
You start talking to them for a while and you go, man, I really judged hard.
I'm available for cruise ship. Norwegian, Princess, Royal Caribbean, Carnival.
Margaritaville.
Virgin. Margaritaville has a cruise?
Oh, yeah.
I am so upset that I haven't been asked to do the Margaritaville cruise. I am furious. Okay. I got to get out of here and go contact Margaritaville. Where can people find you?
We're doing plugs?
Yeah, plug it up.
Plugs. When does this come out?
Probably in 3 weeks.
Okay. So, I'm on the road. Please follow me at Danny Jolles on all social medias, for love of God. Please come to a show. It really means a lot. Also be on the next season of Hacks. Please watch that. Although they don't,
a character named Nate. You guys will love that.
Although they don't need me to advertise for them at all.
They are doing great.
My number one plug, as I say on every podcast I've ever done, stand-up comedy is like hockey. It's really fun to watch on TV. It is so much better in person.
Oh, that's such a great way to... I've been trying to say that for so long, and you just fucking said it so perfectly.
So please, look up your local comedy club. Look at the next 4 comics coming on the weekend. Google them. Make sure you can find 10 minutes uninterrupted of one of them doing stand-up. If you cannot find 10 minutes uninterrupted, do not go. But if you can find 10 minutes uninterrupted, buy a ticket, whether it's me, whether it's Jessica. Just go and watch live stand-up comedy.
It's magical.
You will have a magical time, and you will never stop going.
That's incredible. Go do that. Go to punchup.live. If you haven't checked it out, you can make an account and it will tell you people near you. They make it real easy. But also just Google it because I don't know if it shows you everybody. And I don't want you to miss out on somebody. Anyway, thank you, Danny Jolles. This was wonderful.
Thank you for having me, Jessica.
I can't wait to see your new special.
Mm.
What a year.
We'll see.
All right. Bye, everybody. Well, there you have it. That concludes this week's episode of Hey Idiots. I hope you learned something. I hope you laughed a little. Maybe you didn't learn anything. Maybe you're terrified, but I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have not already, please go leave a rating and a review. Share this episode with your friends because everyone's a little bit ignorant sometimes. You have something to say about a guest, if there was a guest. You have something to say about my nonsensical rants, if it was just me, or maybe my rants over a guest. Come over to the Facebook group. It's called Idiots. You can see it right there, linked on my Facebook page, facebook.com/JMScomedy. And, yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being patient with my ignorance. Keep asking questions. The more we ask, the more we learn, the more we know, and the more we know, the more we can look down on others. And isn't that the point? See you soon, idiots.